So y'all, how y'all doing? Let's get into some stuff. And I said we got some evil and vicious villains to come up with. So we got a mother named Kimberly Mills and her boyfriend named Andre Walker. Mother is 37 and the man she's with is 36. So these no good people who supposed to be protecting this 10-year-old boy who ended up losing his life because they ended up rushing him to the hospital. He was unresponsive. So when, you know, hospital staff got to the child to see what's going on, they see that he was going into cardiac arrest. And they noticed that he had bruises on him. So as they was checking him out, and they realized that there was more bruises. Some of the bruises were and injuries were actually healing, and you can see the different stages of them. So as that was going on, the mama, Miss Mills, and her Mr. Walker, then already fled. They didn't left the baby in the hospital, and so they didn't contact the police. The police ended up showing up to the hospital to try to get to the situation. But apparently, Mrs. Miller ended up coming herself back up to the hospital, but this time she came with the 9-year-old brother. I said, oh Lord. So the baby was in intensive care. The 10-year-old, he's in intensive care in critical condition. 4 weeks later, he passed from his injuries. So the investigation went on. So they went to the resident. The police went to the resident to check it out. And as they got there and they was going through looking around, they ended up finding evidence all over. They found a 6 feet ladder. They found a 10-pound dumbbell, and they found duct tape. So, and they found other things. They suggested and believe allegedly that the 10-year-old and his 9-year-old brother were actually tied up to the ladder, and they were actually abused in multiple ways. Also, they ended up finding out that there was signs of sexual abuse. I don't know about which one, but I said, please, if both the mother and the man is already abusing them, I said I would think both of them. Cause yes, so the mom and her no good man were charged. The mother was charged with aggravated child endangerment, child neglect, tampering with evidence, and uh, tampering with evidence. And the other one was aggravated child abuse. And the boyfriend, this man was charged with similar charges in tampering with evidence. I said, huh? And so they had been arrested. And now the police also said that there will be some upgrade charges since the child has passed. My thing is, there was one more thing. There was actually a investigation going on between Mrs. Mills and Mr. Walker about these alleged abuse that was going on. So why was these children still in that house is the question. Why was this 10 and 9-year-old still in that house? Why there was so-called alleged investigation going on and charges against them for child endangerment. And I feel like that the system failed these two kids. You know, this 9-year-old lost his brother. And no knowing what trauma and, you know, everything that he has to not only deal with losing his brother, but he has to deal with the trauma and the abuse and the assault that happened to him. This is gonna take a lot of therapy for this young boy to deal with. And the mother that was supposed to be protecting him was useless. So I hope that they get, it didn't say where they was from, but I hope that they get life. Straight up life. And solitary confinement. They don't need to see they don't need to see no light, nothing. Cause these kids' life was taken for no reason. But tell me how y'all feel about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. It's your boy Paul. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I get back at y'all later. Bye, y'all.